Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Cosmic Verse titled "She Filed for Divorce After Getting Pregnant by Another Man." Men are having to take care of a woman, and in return, they oftentimes get cheated on. The world is a mighty cruel place. Today's video was suggested to me by Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comments, so make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own comments and thoughts, and let's jump right into the video.
If it was financially feasible for us to do so. So that after my divorce, rather than being financially dependent on a man who hated me to pay alimony like he was supposed to, or keep his job, I could have just walked out the door, had my own money, and my life would have gone on. Instead of, if you're not one of my followers and don't know what happened, I was sleeping in my vehicle that he eventually took from me after being evicted from my condo that my name wasn't even on. Eating out of food pantries and relying on charity and GoFunds to get back on my feet, because relying on Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy would have been a better idea than alimony. Ladies, create your own damn future. Stop breeding with narcissists. And let's delete this word alimony from our collective vocabulary.
Because more women are working now, more of them are having to pay things like child support and or spousal support, and they absolutely hate this. I don't think these systems should exist, but since they do, we all might as well suffer together, and I don't empathize with them at all.
Well, I got pregnant by another man while being married. How did I know this? We were sleeping around. I got pregnant, but I didn't know who the baby daddy was. But again, I did my calculations, and my husband and I weren't really having, so it ended up being the boy's baby. Well, we talked about it, and neither of us wanted to have this baby because he was in a relationship as well. But he always told me that whatever I decided, he would agree with it. I decided I didn't want to have this baby just because I was already basically tied down to a man. I didn't want to be tied down to another man. So I decided to get an abortion, and I had my husband pay for it, told him it was his. And this man is so stupid that he actually believed me, even though we weren't having sex for about 2 months. Long story short, I ended up divorcing him and never talked to the boy either.
Imagine how the boyfriend feels here. He has to live his life thinking that his ex-wife ended their child, and to make things worse, she's online insulting him. Where are all of the good men? This genre of women is an absolute joke.
November, I decided I no longer wanted to be a responsible parent, and I gave up my kids.
What did you say?
I was just tired of being responsible and caring for them. I felt like I was too young and I wanted to go out there and experience life. And I started dating someone else, so it just didn't fit with my new lifestyle. And I didn't have anything to worry about because the other parent is a very responsible parent. But now I'm here because now I'm in child support. And to top it off, I'm really pissed off that I took care of them all the way up to November and I couldn't claim them on my taxes because the other parent had already claimed them.
It breaks my heart to see children get to be one of the very, very few souls to experience life, and they come up with this type of woman as their mother. Lack of responsibility, and of course she brought a child into the world, and she's mad because she doesn't get any money out of it.
You're a loser. You're a loser.
Wow.
How am I supposed to be with you when I got these men all the time in my DMs offering me luxury cruises, mansions, all this different stuff, and then I come home to you playing video games in your underwear?
It was good when we first started dating.
That's 7 years ago. I've grown as a person, and you haven't. I've outgrown you.
Wow. So after all these years, you have to tell me that about getting pregnant by another man? We couldn't separate we couldn't have this conversation before we got to this part.
Things happen, but
I had to find out you was pregnant.
You weren't taking
How low
care
of you?
of me.
That's low.
You were not. The bottom line is that you were not taking care of
I'm
me.
a hard-working man.
I went into another man's arms.
I'm a hard-working man. I gave you everything you asked for me. What more you want?
I'm in here splitting half of these bills. You're not taking care of me.
The rent is $4,000.
So?
Let this woman rot and have her figure it out. When the guys she cheated on rejects her, she'll be begging to come back. That's the bed she made. Make her sleep in it.
Women who have to pay alimony every month really breaks my heart because it's like, damn, 10 times out of 10, this man probably done cheated on you, probably didn't belittle you. You probably had to do everything Because obviously you made more money than him. And for him to walk away from the marriage and can live his best life off of your dime, it's just certain things that just ain't right in this world.
This is the vast majority of ex-husbands' experience, but women only ever want to talk about it whenever it's a woman suffering the consequences of alimony. When it's men, then it's, yes, of course, slay queen, collect your bag. We all know the garbage that they say.
I'm pregnant, but my husband doesn't know that. What? Being your husband, he will have the responsibility to take care of your child, even if he is aware that he is not the dad? Nobody can question you, and the law is there to support you? What law? Okay, maybe it'll make sense if I read the whole thing. As a precaution, frame some false case against your husband so that if he plans to move legally, you can counter it with this. Contact any female lawyer and make sure she is a feminist so that she can help you more sincerely. If he acts more smart, then go for a divorce and claim good alimony and maintenance so that he can't marry again with his financial capability. Being a feminist, I wish you all success for your fight against the men. What? This is a joke, right?
Oh, hell no. Yeah, and you wonder why men don't want to get married. Women are out here thinking this is Death Note, looking like light Yagami. Look, if she's not religious, any obsession she has with her getting married is pure vanity. Stay away from these women. Ah, geez. Okay, to the one girl that watches these videos, don't end up like this woman. How can you be this old and still act like you're 21 years of age? That had to have been 40-some odd years ago. Aren't you a little bit bored of this lifestyle? Where the hell are your great-grandchildren?
Okay, Miss Canada. All right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from this man.
Okay, just straightforward. That's what I like. Just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligation.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that she and I had that time together.
Oh, that's nasty.
And,
Excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't provided
well, those are rumors.
I understand that.
All,
I understand that. But you haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key.
Clearly, this woman was trying to get some money out of this man for a child that's not even his. Forget about marriage. Even having kids and wanting a future generation isn't safe for a lot of men these days.
Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You're right about that. And honest
so
truth
you are admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't tell me you were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
So, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
So the man was also cheating, but at least he's owning up to it. Still a scumbag, in my opinion, but this really shouldn't be hard. He cheated, she divorces, then she drags whoever the real father is and gets him to pay child support, assuming the child isn't his.
Nothing is funnier to me than when men complain that women only want the top 1% of financially successful men.
This is crazy. That's 2 successful men that don't want you. Hence why you seem to be in your 30s, still acting like a 21-year-old with the mannerisms of a high schooler.
The rise of plastic surgery, the rise of EDs, all because men only want to date the top 1% of beautiful women.
Wait a minute. Women have always said they didn't do any of this for men. They only do it for themselves, or so we've been told anyway. It's Schrodinger's cat, essentially. Women are both a victim and empowered until she decides which one is more beneficial for her at any given moment.
Well, if that were the case, then the majority of women, 99% of them, would never have a date or any kind of relationship.
Like if hypocrisy could pay my motherfucking bills.
I have a feeling it does.
Women are superficial for going after the wrong qualities in men.
That's actually the definition of what superficial is. Only going after those qualities that are on the surface, like money and appearance. Do they not teach these things in school anymore?
The happiest groups of people by demographic are single women and married men. Google it, baby.
Is Google a verifiable source of research material now?
So what does that tell us, class? That marrying the wrong man depletes you. You are better off to be alone for the rest of your life than to settle for a scrub.
I'm willing to bet that statistic is a lie because all you ever see are women coping and seething, crying about how sad and alone they are. Humans are social creatures and women are super social. They are most certainly not happier single.
Then there should be a lot of happy women out there. But social media says otherwise.
Women have to be subjected to looking in the mirror for the majority of their life and feeling like they're not good enough. Then I feel like that guy can work a few extra hours at the office.
I think we're about to see the rise of happy single men.
Here we go. Women create issues, then blame men for it. Look at the beauty standards that guys have for girls. It's don't be a donut away from passing away, and that's it. For the most part, guys would date any girl that is just normal and healthy.
Although I have to tell you that, it's the last remaining feminist taboo. I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful or the artist, there's a lot, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you got to give him half your shit. Or, oh no, you got to pay alimony because he makes 50 grand a year and you make 250. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world. And when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. And then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing. That goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony.
Remember what I mentioned earlier about Schrodinger and his cat? Here is yet another example of this. Most people that talk about wanting equality don't actually want equality, they want special privileges. When they get true equality, then of course they call it oppression.
She said, no, there's something that I need to tell you. And I said, is it bad? And she said, yes. And I said, is that about the marriage? And she said, yes. And then we began to drive back. And I had this sinking feeling in me. And we drove for about 5 minutes in silence, and then I went to put my hand on her lap, and she said, don't touch me, because you won't want to after I've told you what's happened. And I said, what's happened? And she said, I've been having an affair with a man from work.
So this woman knew he would be disgusted, but still went on ahead and cheated on him anyway. These types of situations hurt because this guy gave it his all just to get cheated on, and he knew it before his ex-wife confessed.
And I remember just tears began to stream. I didn't move, completely motionless. Tears began to stream. And then she said, and that's not all. And she said, I'm pregnant with this child. And in that moment, I felt like I lost a lot. I'd lost my wife. I'd lost the life we created had lost. The dog, our home, my parents-in-law, her family, everything that I'd really held dear. If someone said, what makes a meaningful life? I would have described these things. And it felt like they'd just been snatched away, just came crumbling down like a house of cards.
And this is exactly how you get men to never trust women again. He was very secure and trusting in his relationship, and she decided to throw it away. It is always good men getting played by seemingly normal women.
All right, so those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, you know, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down.
Right, you are. Simply because a lot of men don't get DNA tested, they have faith in their woman, but an absurd amount of women actually do cheat. Paternity tests are literally illegal in multiple countries, France being the most well-known example.
It's going to be dramatic, and right now they're starting to also add in things like, you know, maternity fraud is a crime, and a punishable crime.
I mean, this makes sense to me. Fraud in every other situation is illegal. Why shouldn't this be illegal? I couldn't stand being lied to, raising a kid that's not mine, and the whole relationship with the child being built off of a lie. That must hit really hard in the worst way imaginable.
So, guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it, so they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure. And they're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime. And yes, it's a crime.
Just a side note, he keeps saying maternity fraud. He means to say paternity fraud. Maternity is for women, paternity is for men. Women can't commit maternity fraud on themselves.
Said to me last week that you would pay for them.
This boyfriend refuses to pay for his partner's birthday meal.
Just can't afford it. Can't afford to see it all out as a group.
Are you joking?
No.
That's not what you said to me last week.
The California Valley Girl voice is annoying to hear, but to hear it with an European accent is even way more painful. And that's saying something, guys, considering I have an awful Australian accent.
That's not what I thought we agreed on. I thought we agreed on me and you, and that was the thing.
Yeah, but that's on Thursday. That's next Thursday. We're going out today. It's my birthday today, and you said that you're going to be paying for them.
It's not about to spend money at the moment.
Oh, guys, stop arguing.
It's your
birthday, like, unbelievable.
Should be getting this stressed
Not
out,
this last minute, honestly.
I'm not a sugar daddy. If you want a sugar daddy, go and find one. It is what it is, isn't it?
There's
I'm
no
not
need
here
to
to
say
pay for
that.
everything.
That's rude.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Ain't no way they're getting on his head saying that he's rude. They pulled up expecting him to pay for everything for everybody. It's his girl's birthday. To shame him into paying for multiple people in this economy or any economy is absolutely crazy.
Are you
You're just trying to make a joke out of me in front of your friends. It's fucking
Well, the joke is probably your bank account if you can't afford it.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Why are you saying all this now?
I just think you show it up for your friends.
No, right.
That's clearly what it is.
I've just suddenly decided.
What's the issue? You said something that would pay. That last week, this is the arrangement. Can't you just say this has now?
Me personally, I would just leave and not have this conversation. One of the background characters is speaking out of line saying his bank account is a joke. He's better than me, or worse. I wouldn't even entertain this argument after they said I'm paying for like 4 people.
Charlie, it's one day that one happened.
Like I say, for you,
What do you mean
yes,
you're
sweet,
struggling?
but
You paid
for
for
your
your sister's
friends.
birthday.
It's
There's
family,
10 of
isn't
them.
it?
Oh, so we can pay for his sister, we can't pay
You
for
know
his
what? You're an
birthday.
absolute joke. Because I'm so sorry about this. He's just an absolute joke.
You don't have to be sorry for everything,
Like,
honestly.
they've actually travelled 1 hour to get
You're
here.
showing up now in front of your friends.
I'm not
That's the
showing up
joke.
in front of
It's
my
the way it's supposed
friends.
to be in a
You
relationship,
said to
aren't
me
you?
last
That's it,
week
your
that
friends.
you would pay for them. You shouldn't have said it if you weren't going to do
You
it.
heard that, you
Just,
heard that, but I
as
can't
always, you
remember
never
saying
deliver,
that.
you never do anything for
Same
me.
as-
I've not had a
same as-
gift, I've not even had a card.
Like I said
Literally,
before,
you're
I'm
actually...
not
You didn't
sugar
even get her a
daddy.
card?
I'm
How
not sugar
cheap are
daddy.
you?
You didn't even get give me your card.
I feel like you should just leave, like...
Do you know what? I'm just
Right,
not in a good headspace right now, and you're just making it really worse.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Girls, I don't even feel like going out anymore. I'm so sorry. Like, we'll just do something at home, because this guy is an absolute cheapskate.
They're shaming him for not doing crazy things for his girlfriend, but what have they done for their friend that they've most likely known a lot longer than she has known her boyfriend? It amazes me how the brokies are calling other people broke for being financially responsible.
You've talked about in the past where you had to go on tour to pay alimony to your ex-husband. I don't know if the number's correct. I saw it was like $30,000 a month or something like that.
Yeah, have never let a person have that much power over my money, my life, over anything ever again.
This is Strength of a Woman's festival, and a lot of times when we think about prenups, it's always from a man's perspective. Like a man wants his wife to sign a prenup before they get married because he has more money, but there's not always the case. Sometimes in your situation, the woman could be the breadwinner or the woman can have more money. So what are your thoughts on prenups, and how would you approach it, or what advice would you give as far as for a woman that may be wealthy, well off, and they're looking to get married?
Get a prenup, because I didn't have one. And that's why I ended up having to just give everything away, because it's so, let me just speak, it's so whack right now that men, you know, can come at you and get, and you know, and
Prenups sound nice and all, but oftentimes they're completely thrown out and they're relatively easy to evade by the woman.
Oh look, it's another girl complaining about being stared at in the gym because she's wearing shorts that clearly don't fit her, and she pulls them up so high that she's literally ripping herself a new one. I'm just gonna stay right here really quick just for this one, because that is crazy she put the camera there. Now look, okay, if you really have to pull your shorts down to cover your cheeks, just consider that it might be, just might be, that you're drawing attention to yourself. Like, if you don't want people staring at your butt, then like, don't put it out there. Like, oh, that just seems like a really easy solution. I don't know.
You see, you're trying to bring logic to a person that wants to be a victim. Like, this original video has to be satire. I don't want to be stared at, so let me wear the most revealing clothes I have and bend all the way over in front of people. Men can't even enjoy the gym anymore. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.